Hey guys, welcome back. It's Friday today when I'm filming this. It's like 5 p.m. I've kind of finished my to-do list for the day and I was like, I kind of feel like filming a bit of a reading vlog. I have no plans going into this. I have no TBR. I'll tell you what I'm currently reading. I don't know how long this vlog is gonna go for, but welcome back to another reading vlog. I'm currently reading Chain of Thorns. I'm up to chapter 26, so I've read all of this. I would say I'm like 2/3 of the way through, I guess. Yeah, if I had to guess, I would say roughly 2/3 of the way through. And I have been reading this so slowly because I am obsessed with it. I am loving it so much and I don't want it to end. And I'm really scared for it to end. But guys, I posted a little story today on Instagram, on my reading Instagram. Follow me there for like more consistent like book updates. You get to see like what I'm reading at the time I'm reading it. I posted a little story saying that I was reading this and a bunch of you messaged me saying, can't wait to see what you think of the ending and now you've got me scared. What do you mean? Like, this is the last book in the trilogy. Like, it has to have a happily ever after. So don't you dare be saying things like that to me. Like, what do you mean? And now I'm just terrified. But I do think I'm gonna try and finish this weekend. I feel like I shouldn't drag it on any further. I started this July 1st and it's July 7th. So like I said, I've been trying to kind of prolong my reading experience, but I'm just gonna be so sad when this is over. Obviously I can go back and do rereads, but anyways, that's Chain of Thorns. Moving on. I also started another new book today because I finished another book earlier today. I decided to pick up Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. I haven't read any romance yet this month. I mean, it's been a week, but I've only been reading fantasy. So I thought, let's switch things up. Let's read a cute little romance. I think I'm in the mood. I hate to say it. I think I'm like starting to border on a slump. So I'm just gonna take it easy. I'm just in one of those moods where apart from Chain of Thorns, pretty much nothing sounds good to me right now. And that's how I kind of know that I might be in a bit of a slump, but I'm just gonna mood read. We're gonna see how we go. Hopefully we can just, like, I feel like sometimes I can get myself out of a slump before I really get into it and then we're all good. I feel like I can see the signs now, but obviously I'll keep you updated. Anyway, so I started this. I think I've only read literally 67 pages and this is fine so far. I don't really have any real feelings about it yet. I think it's just over 300 pages, so I'm excited for just like a fun, cutesy little romance. I love the cover of this. I love the spine. I think it is beautiful. If you don't know what this one is about, from what I've gathered, these two used to be best friends and now they're not friends and they say they're enemies, but in reality they had one fight. They don't like each other anymore and they've got a bit of beef. That's really it. And the only other book that I think I want to pick up this weekend, I mean, we'll see because I am not great at following reading plans, but the other book that I've been really wanting to get to is called Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. I don't have the physical copy. I'm pretty sure my library has the ebook, so I think I'm just going to read it on my iPad. If anyone in Australia knows how to get Libby books on your Kindle, I'm pretty sure you can't in Australia, but if anyone knows how to, please let me know because I feel like I've done a lot of research and from what I've gathered, you can't do it. Either way, I can read it on my iPad. It's not that big of a deal. I would prefer to read it on my Kindle, but it doesn't really matter. But The Box in the Woods is, I don't know if it's technically the 4th book in the series or if it's just more of a spin-off, but it's kind of part of the Truly Devious series, which is a trilogy, which I read last year and really enjoyed. And if you haven't heard of Truly Devious, it is a YA mystery series. And yeah, I think it's like a main trilogy, but then the author has come out with a couple other books. Box in the Woods is definitely the same characters, but I don't know if they're on a summer camp or if they're just like, I feel like they're at some sort of campground and Stevie, which is the main girl in the Truly Devious series, is trying to solve a murder. And I also know that Maureen Johnson also released another one, not really that recently anymore, but it's called 9 Liars. And I don't really know how that one connects to the rest of them. I'm actually gonna look it up. I really feel like it was just supposed to be a trilogy, but I feel like more and more books keep being released, so I'm a bit confused. But yeah, same main character, but it says Stevie Bell is taking her detecting skills abroad. And so she's solving some other murder, but she's doing it in London this time. I don't think I'll read 9 Liars in this vlog, but hopefully I'll at least start, maybe finish, we'll see, Box in the Woods, because I am very intrigued. But yeah, those are my reading plans. I think I'm gonna read a bit more of Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and I guess we'll just see where the evening takes us.
Laundry king.
Doing the washing while I cook dinner. Teamwork! I just realized I haven't talked to you guys yet today, so hi. I thought I would give you guys a bit of a reading update. You guys saw that Liam and I spent the morning at the beach, which was so nice. Literally best morning ever, but we came home around lunchtime and I've just been reading ever since. So I've mostly been reading Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and I'm up to page 176 now, so over halfway, which is good, and I'm definitely enjoying it more than I was last time I talked to you guys about it. I don't think I'm necessarily obsessed with it, but I feel like it's fun. I feel like it's good. I also feel like I understand what it's about much more than the last time I talked to you. So we've got these two high school students, Celine and Brad, and their mums are best friends, so they kind of grew up together and they were best friends until they had a bit of a falling out. Celine basically felt like Brad just thought she was too weird, and he kind of wanted her to almost like tame her personality a little bit. Like he was kind of like, you need to chill, people think you're weird and I want people to like me and I want people to like us. And she was kind of like, I'm gonna be who I want to be. If people don't like me, that's their problem, not mine. And this was like years ago, and they've been enemies ever since. But then they both get into this program and they both want to be in this program because I think 2 or 3 people who perform the best in this program get a scholarship, and obviously they both want this scholarship for college. And whilst they're going through this program, they spend a lot of time together. I guess they're starting to realize maybe we actually can be friends. So that's kind of the situation. The program that they are involved in includes 2 different little like camping trips, survival trip type things, where they have to go out and demonstrate leadership and commitment and creative thinking and all of those sort of things to be able to obviously win this scholarship. So I really like when they're on those camping trips because they just seem really wholesome and fun, and like you get all these scenes with their friends just like mucking around doing fun things. I feel like I don't care as much when they're not on the like trips, when they're just like at school or at home. I'm just a bit like less interested. I feel like right now it's sitting at like a 3 or 3.5. Like it's not bad, but I'm not obsessed. There's also a lot of talk about TikTok because the main character Celine has like 20,000 followers on TikTok, and she does like conspiracy theories, and so she talks about TikTok a lot, and I don't know if that's my favorite thing. It's not enough for me to like dislike the book, but I just don't think I like that aspect of the book. But yeah, those are my feelings about this currently. I've also read a little bit more of Chain of Thorns. I'm up to chapter 29, so only a little bit further, like only a few more chapters from when I last spoke to you. But guys, I am so terrified to finish this. I'm at page 525 and there are almost 700 pages, I think. I don't want to see anything that will spoil me. Oh, 676 pages, so I have like 150 pages to go. I do remember hearing a lot of people say that they didn't love the ending of this, and I just like, I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what turn it's gonna take. Like, because one of my favorite characters gonna die, other people that I want to end up together not gonna end up together. Like, I really don't know what on earth that means and why people are so invested in knowing my thoughts, and I'm so scared, and it's really like putting me off reading this. This also happens when I really love a book. Like, I really don't want to end it. It took me like quite literally, I think almost a month to finish the last 100 pages of Magnolia Park's Long Way Home because I just like didn't want it to end. My card just got full. But I was gonna say, I feel like the same thing is happening with this because I'm loving it so much, so I want to like draw out my experience because I want it to last longer. But also in saying that, I've literally been reading it for like over a week, so I've already drawn it out. But also now that I know that there's something, well, I don't know what the ending is going to be, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be fantastic. Now that I know that there's something going to happen there, I feel like I just want to put it off even more, but I also just really want to finish it. Guys, I'm stressed. Anyways, I'll keep you guys updated, but I think I'll probably just talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday. It is 10 a.m. and all I've done this morning is drink coffee, read my book, sit on my phone. And I got kind of annoyed at myself because I was like, Rachel, we are not spending our weekends on our phone. We do enough of that already. My job is literally social media. I definitely am addicted to my phone and I don't like it. So I literally turned off my phone. I've put it in my room and I'm going to try and hardly touch it today. And I'm just going to try and focus on reading, maybe go for a walk, do a little bit of housework, just like have a chill day. We have church this afternoon, but those are our only plans of the day. Actually, Liam's going to hang out with friends today, but I'm just staying at home. I would really love to finish Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute today and potentially Chain of Thorns, but I guess we'll see. But I think I'm going to start off with Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. I'm really blending into my couch right now. Update, I'm up to page 279, so I only have like 35 pages left maybe, and I've read what I think is supposed to be the conflict, but it quite literally lasted like 2 pages. And at that point it's kind of like, why even have a conflict if you're going to resolve it after like 2 pages? It was like the characters were like, conflict, and then they were like, oh no, I actually didn't mean it, never mind. And it's kind of like, what's the point of that? To be fair though, that's like my biggest complaint about this book so far. Like overall, it is just a very cutesy little YA rom-com. Like there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I feel like this conflict, if this is what the main conflict is going to be, there honestly might be something else. I know that there's going to be something else in terms of like character development that still needs to be dealt with before the ending, because they've been like hinting at it the whole time, but this conflict was just not very conflicty. But in saying that, they are back doing their little camping trip survival situation, and so I'm enjoying that. Just finished Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and it was very cute. I feel like I honestly just don't have that many thoughts about this book. I didn't feel very strongly about it in any kind of way. I thought it was cute, it made me smile, it made me giggle a little. It was a little bit cheesy at times, but also it's a YA rom-com, so that's to be expected. I think if you just want something fairly light-hearted, a bit of fun, this could be a great one for you. No spice also, so for all my closed door girlies out there, this is for you. Yeah, it was cute. Probably like 3 stars, 3.5. No major complaints. It just doesn't feel like a 4 or 5 star to me. I did really enjoy the writing though.
The best day so far. Oh, so.
Guys, I am so scared. I have 40 pages left and I really don't know how this is gonna end. We're in a bit of a situation here with 2 of my favorite characters, and I guess you could say it's a bit of a life or death situation, and I'm scared. Quite literally everything is going wrong. I feel like awful things have happened to every character at this point. Like at this point, nothing is going well. Not one single thing for one single character. It's all awful. It's all terrible. You're telling me that this all gets solved in the next like 35 pages? If it doesn't, I will be raging. I will be rioting. Because usually this happens at the end of a Cassandra Clare book, but there's another book in the series and you're like, oh, okay, well, like it's gonna end on a cliffhanger or like gonna end with some unfinished business that will be resolved in the next book. This is the last book in the trilogy. It has to be resolved in this book. Otherwise, it's just like no resolution. I'm stressed. Just as you think things are getting better, they don't. I don't know if they've gotten worse, but we still definitely have a lot of problems to solve. And I'm exhausted, emotionally spent. I'm scared to see what else is still coming. I'm officially at the epilogue. I feel like epilogues are supposed to be like the happily ever after part, and like the part where you get to see where everyone's going and what they're doing after the story ends and just see everything tied up really nicely. But I don't know, I just have a bad feeling. I hope everything turns out well, but I'm just hesitant because this epilogue is like 20 pages long. So a lot can happen in 20 pages, but we'll see. I've got to say, the real MVP of this book is definitely Oscar. If you know, you know. I'm officially on the last page. Officially finished with Chain of Thorns. That was so freaking good. Like, truly so good. I honestly think it's my favorite out of the last hours. Like, I loved Chain of Gold, I loved Chain of Iron, but I think by the time I got to Chain of Thorns, I had already spent so much time with the characters, so I was so attached to them and cared so deeply for them. So seeing them go through all of the things that they went through in this book, which, let me just say, it was a lot. I was so invested in everything that was happening in this book. And whilst there were some things that I'm not like happy with, like there are definitely some really sad things that happen in this book. And a few characters specifically, I feel like just got the short end of the stick. I would say 3 characters specifically. I just feel like their story didn't get to end very happily. And I get maybe you're not supposed to have every single character like have this perfect happily ever after where they're just like so content, so happy, so perfectly tied up or whatever. But so many of these characters got such a perfect ending and then a few just didn't. And I would say for the most part, it wasn't even like their own fault. Like a lot of them were just like in crap situations and then just like didn't get a happily ever after. And like, yeah, maybe they did some bad things, but I still feel like they should have got a happily ever after and they just didn't. But like I said, I still think this is my favorite book out of the last hours and potentially out of all of Cassandra Clare's books, because The Infernal Devices and The Last Hours are my favorite series. I feel like either this or Clockwork Princess is my favorite out of all of her books. I'm so sad that I'm done. Like, I am so sad that this book is over. Not only am I done with The Last Hours, but I'm done with the Shadowhunters world as it stands. That's so sad. Like, what am I supposed to do now? I've been reading through the Shadowhunters books for the last like 7 months. Every month I've read at least one Cassandra Clare book, usually more than one. How many books have I read by Cassie Clare? We've got 6 in the Mortal Instruments, 3 in the Infernal Devices, 3 in the Dark Artifices, and 3 in the Last Hours. 6, 3, 3, 3. 15 books. And now I'm just done? Huh? I think I'm just going to be processing this for the rest of the day. Like, I have no desire to pick up another book. I feel like this could be a very bad book hangover. I think it's been 2 days since I last updated you, so it's been a little bit, but I definitely have some reading updates for you. Last time I talked to you, I had just finished Chain of Thorns and I was like, I just need to process for the rest of the day, which I did. And then the next day I ended up starting 2 books. I started The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson, which I talked about at the beginning of this vlog. YA mystery, a continuation of the Truly Devious trilogy. And I also picked up Alone with You in the Ether, which is on my July TBR. And I honestly thought I was going to be in such a huge book hangover from Chain of Thorns, but I picked up those other 2 books very easily. I think because they are such different vibes from Chain of Thorns, it didn't feel like I was comparing them to Chain of Thorns at all. Neither of them are fantasy and just like, yeah, totally different vibes. So I think I've skipped the book hangover, which I am so happy about. I think I'm about like 150 pages into The Box in the Woods and I'm really enjoying it so far. A very quick rundown is basically Stevie Bell, who is the main character in the rest of the Truly Devious books before this, is on summer break and she gets invited to this summer camp where in the late 70s there were 4 murders that happened at that summer camp. And so the owner of the camp invites her to come and be a counselor on the camp, but also have a look into these murders and see if she can find out who did it, because no one knows and no one ever figured it out. And so she goes with a couple of her friends, which are also characters in the previous books, which is like so nice to see my favorite characters back together again. They go to the summer camp and obviously she's talking to the people in the town trying to figure out what is going on, and so far it is just really interesting. I'm really enjoying it. I love YA mysteries. I feel like they're just fun and quick paced and like a little bit creepy but not too creepy. I feel like sometimes I can get creeped out by like other like thrillers, but YA seems to be my jam. So loving that so far. But I also have managed to finish Alone with You in the Ether since I last updated you. Started and finished this book. To be fair, I think it's about 265 pages, so it's definitely not a long book. However, I just devoured this. I am shocked at how quickly I read this, and honestly, I don't even know how to describe my thoughts with this book, because like, what even was this book? I don't think it's 5 stars from me. Like, I don't think it's one of those books that like completely shattered my soul like I know it did for some other people. I think for me, I found this book fascinating, but I didn't truly connect to the 2 main characters, and so because of that, I don't think it can be 5 stars. I think I'm leaning towards like a 4 star because the writing was beautiful and just so unique. I will say at the start, I was like not convinced. Like at the start, I was like, I don't know if this book is for me, but the more I read it and the further I got into the story, the more I was just like, what? Like, wow. Is this technically literary fiction? I don't really know. It definitely has a romance in it, but it's a very like unconventional romance, I guess you could say. It feels much more like a literary fiction than a romance to me. You're basically following 2 people, Aldo and Regan. Aldo is an extremely intelligent man, very logical, very obsessive about certain topics. He kind of knows he's a little bit different from normal people. Like he knows he just thinks differently. Basically, he's been told his whole life that he's not normal, which first of all is sad, because just because you don't think the same way that other people think doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's different. But I don't see why that has to necessarily be a bad thing. Anyway, and then we have Regan, who is an art student. She's very impulsive, very compulsive, a very deep thinker. This book is one of those books where I think a lot of things weren't explicitly said, but I have assumptions about certain mental illness or certain things along those lines that they didn't necessarily say outright. I know Olivia Blake in the like notes from the author did say that Regan is supposed to kind of emulate someone with a mood disorder, because Olivia Blake, I think herself, has a mood disorder. Yeah, it says, let me begin by saying that while this story is about a woman with a mood disorder who learns to live without medication, it is not intended to be prescriptive. And it continues on, but I feel like this book was very much a character study on these 2 people as individuals, but also a study on what these 2 people are like together, like when they are connected. I think the thought that I just kept having throughout this whole reading experience was just like, this is so fascinating to me. As someone who has a lot of interest in psychology, in the way people behave, in the way people think, it's what I went to uni for. I just find it really interesting. I think I lent much more towards the side of, oh wow, this is really interesting, this is really fascinating, I'm very intrigued by this, because it feels like you're in these people's head. It really, really feels like you're literally sitting in their brain, like seeing out through their eyes, which I don't know how Olivia Blake managed to write it like that, but as someone who has never experienced the type of like mood disorders or other types of things like that these people are currently experiencing, being able to have some sort of understanding without actually living it out was just like so well done to me. Like I'm in shock at how well Olivia Blake portrayed these specific 2 people. I hope that makes sense. I think she just did a great job of explaining what it would be like to live with these things to someone who hasn't lived with these things. That's how I see it. However, I have a feeling that if you can relate to these characters a bit more than I could, it might be one of those books that is just earth-shattering, very insightful, potentially life-changing. I can't personally say it was like that for me, but I can respect that. Like, I can see that that could be the case, and I can see why people love this so much. So I think this is definitely one of those books that you need to pick up just to see if it's for you. But if it's not for you, oh well. But if it is for you, it could be just incredible. It was just so different from anything I've ever read before, and I really appreciated it for what it was. Olivia Blake just continues to shock me with her concepts and the way that she thinks. It's so hard to explain my thoughts on this because it's so different, and I don't really know where I sit in terms of like 3 stars, 4 stars, whatever. Like, it's not really that important. Ratings don't really matter that much, but I do think it is just so fascinating. But yeah, those are my very chaotic thoughts on Alone with You in the Ether. It was just such an experience. Today, I think I'm just going to continue reading The Box in the Woods. I think it's like just under 300 pages, so we'll see if I can finish it today. I might be able to. I don't know. I don't have that many plans today. I'll keep you guys updated. I just got up to chapter 24 of The Box in the Woods and it's getting so good. I feel like it's just your classic YA mystery, but I'm eating it up. Like, it's just so good to me. So fast paced, there's always something going on. They're always finding out something new or like something is going wrong. I'm on page 216 and my iPad says there's 286 pages. I really want to just like sit and binge this because I feel like obviously we're gonna get answers soon because I'm like not necessarily that close to the end, but I'm getting there. But it also means like surely the big things are gonna happen soon. Like something's gotta go really wrong before everything can go right, and I'm excited. I've just hit page 240. I think we're about to get some answers. And honestly, I literally have no idea. I have no idea like who the murderer is or who was involved or like literally anything. No theories, no guesses. I don't know. So I'm intrigued. I finished The Box in the Woods and honestly, that was so fun. I thought the reveal was pretty good. I feel like one of the things I don't like in a thriller or a mystery is when you get to the end and they explain the whodunit or they lay out all the evidence and they explain everything and you just think, I would never have been able to guess that based on the information that we had in the lead up. And this book was one of those. It was one of those ones that I think, like based on my opinion, with the information that we knew in the lead up, you just never would have guessed the outcome. In saying that, it's good because obviously it's not predictable and you're not like, oh my gosh, I already know what's going to happen. But I feel like what should happen, like my best case scenario is you're reading a thriller or a mystery, the plot twist is revealed or the evidence or the explanation is revealed and you go, oh my gosh, I didn't guess it, but that makes so much sense. Like there's a chance you could have guessed it, but they hid the explanation just enough so that you didn't guess it. Like that's my favorite. I don't like it when it's too predictable and I don't like it when there's just like no way you could have guessed it. And I'm not gonna lie, this one was like, I would never have guessed it kind of vibes, but I still really enjoyed it and it still like made sense. Like the ending and the reveal and stuff still made sense, but it was just like with information that you don't get until literally the explanation. So I honestly had so much fun reading it. I think it's probably like a 4-star read. It wasn't like revolutionary, but I just had such a fun time reading it and I definitely need to get my hands on 9 Liars because that's the other Truly Devious book that Maureen Johnson has released. If you know if she's going to release any more, let me know because I'm intrigued. But I think I'm going to end off this vlog here because I think we've read 4 books in this vlog and I think I've been filming this for around a week now. Yeah, pretty much a week. So I think it's time to finish editing it and get it up so you guys can actually watch it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this random little spontaneous weekly reading vlog. I had so much fun filming it. I love filming reading vlogs. I love watching reading vlogs. They're like one of my favorite videos to watch in the whole wide world. By the looks of how much I've edited so far, it's going to be a bit of a chunky one. Like hopefully you had a snack or something while you watched this because I think it's a little long but I love watching long reading vlogs, so hope you guys do too. But let me know what you're currently reading. I'm not sure what I'm going to pick up next. I think I might pick up Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, but we'll see. I also really want to pick up Uglies very soon because that's also on my TBR for this month. I guess we'll wait and see. But I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching and I will see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.